Hello, you guys, and welcome back to Mystical Visions. So, in today's very special reading, we're actually going to be taking a look at some messages from your ancestors. So, today we'll take a look at who is coming in with a message for you, why, and what your joint mission is with this soul. We'll have some clarity on how your lives were similar and therefore why this specific soul needs you to break certain cycles. And then, of course, we'll take a look at some messages and advice for you from this ancestor. So, it is the full moon when I'm recording this. So, very exciting times and very thin veil times for the spirits of those who have gone before us to really come through. So, without much further ado, I have gone ahead and pre-shuffled 3 piles for us. So for pile number 1, we have this beautiful carnelian stone. For pile 2, we have a jade. Will we focus? Yes, we will. And for pile number 3, we have citrine. Also, this mic is going to have to stay in the frame, so I apologize about that. But yeah, if your reading resonates, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the channel out a lot. I'll give you some time to pick your pile, and timestamps always are in the video description. So I'll see you at your reading. Pile number 1, hello, welcome to your reading all about an ancestor that has a message for you today. So if you picked this gorgeous, very detailed carnelian stone, then this is your reading. So like I said, I've gone ahead and pre-shuffled your cards. The first 2 cards on this end of the reading will tell us who your ancestor is. And I've shuffled them very specifically so that they can tell us kind of what generation they are from, as in how many generations before you they come. Then we'll take a look at why they are here today, what joint mission you have with this soul. Then with these cards, we'll take a look at how your lives resonate with their lives. And that way we can kind of see if there are any cycles that they need you to break in this lifetime. And then finally, with these 2 cards, we'll take a look at some advice that they have for you. So, enough chit chat. Let's go ahead and get into your cards. So, who is this ancestor that wants to come in for you? To start with, we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So, the way I had shuffled these was that the number on the minor arcana would tell us what generation away they are from you. And with the ace, this definitely makes me think of a generation above you. So I'm thinking parent. Okay, so this could be a message from a departed parent, or a parental figure, someone in your life that you looked up to and depended on like you would a parent. So this doesn't literally have to be a father or a mother, but it could be a relevant figure. And with the pentacles in reverse, the pentacles is earth energy. And to me, this kind of feels like a masculine energy, because the pentacles and the cups are the 2 feminine suits, whereas the wands and the swords are the 2 masculine suits. At least that's how I remember them. But obviously masculine and feminine are relative terms in terms of the energy, not necessarily the gender. But with the pentacles being the feminine in reverse, this could be a father. This could be a masculine parent or parental figure that's coming in for you today. And to clarify, we have the Ace of Cups. Oh, it could very well also be a mother. It could be both. Or it could be that you had one person who fulfilled the role of father and mother in your life. Alternately, it could be a person who identified as a masculine or a male, but they were the more nurturing, more emotionally supportive one in your life. Oh, that is a bad angle. Okay, there we go. That's much better. So, yeah, this person may have been a father, but they may have done a lot of the traditionally feminine parenting aspect. So they may have given you the emotional comfort, they may have given you the nurturing, they may have given you the warmth and the hugs and the snuggles and all of the stuff that we traditionally associate with a mother. So that is your ancestor coming in for you today. So if that resonates, then hello, you're definitely in the right place. So let's go ahead and take a look at why this soul is coming in today and what joint mission you may have with them in this phase of your life. So first we have the Hermit. Part one, have you been isolating a lot and specifically trying to either process the loss of this person or find some way to contact them in the afterlife, if that makes sense at all? It almost feels like, do you mess around with Ouija boards? It almost feels like you, ever since you lost this person, it feels like you've been isolating, and it's to the point where you're kind of like, I will do anything to have this person back. Sorry, I'm just trying to move the light around so it's not directly on the card. But it's like you will literally do whatever it takes to have this person back in your life. And the reason they are here is to, acknowledge that, you've been doing all this work to try and get in touch with them. And they're here, but also it is to remind you that since you're isolating, you might as well look inwards and do some inner work, do some shadow work. Isolation can be quite tricky because on the one hand, it can cut you off from society completely and make you feel all alone in this world. But on the other hand, it gives you the opportunity to go inside and, do all the shadow work, do all the healing, work through any trauma, any loss. And that just works better when you're in your own energy. Not necessarily all alone, but it just works better when there isn't very much interference from external sources. So maybe this person, when they were on this planet, they didn't really have much of an opportunity to do any introspection. And so they are hoping that they can encourage you to do some introspection. Since you're delving into emotion anyway, while you process the loss of this person, why not do more healing than you had initially intended to do? Okay, so to clarify the Hermit, we have Temperance in reverse. Temperance is all about dynamic balance. Yeah. Okay, so another interpretation of these two cards is maybe you're someone who that was my chair, sorry. Maybe you're someone who did not ever enjoy going inwards. You hated the idea of being alone with your thoughts. Maybe you engaged in certain behaviors that really weren't good for you. I'm thinking like some sort of addictions. Now, these don't necessarily have to be, actual substance issues, but this could very well be addictions to certain cycles of behavior, certain ways of acting that kept you in like a familiar energy. Even if it wasn't necessarily comfortable, it still kept you in your comfort zone. And since this loss has happened, you've gone the absolute opposite way, and you've gone from someone who maybe partied a lot, who was around people all the time in order to avoid thinking of what's going on inside you. You may have gone the other extreme where you shut people out and you just don't even care anymore what anyone says or asks of you, where you are so comfortable in your own space now to a detriment. And because of that, there's this imbalance where you've swung from one extreme to the other. And I'm hearing you've done this a couple of times, actually, where you've swung from one extreme to the other. And this ancestor is coming in today to encourage you to find a balance between isolating and spending time with the people that you love. Because it's not about being better at one or the other. I think we like to, split ourselves into introverts and extroverts. But the truth is, the vast majority of us are ambiverts. And even though, labeling ourselves as an introvert or an extrovert can be quite quirky, it's also important to understand that these are just labels. And so similarly, if you label yourself as a homebody, it is simply a label that you've given to yourself, and it can change at any time. And I do feel like you were not always a homebody, but lately you've found yourself being that way. And the spirit of this ancestor is coming in today to encourage you to maybe try finding like a middle ground between the two extremes. But what joint mission do you have? We have the Empress. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And all three major arcana too. Wow, this was a significant relationship in your life. This person who was in your life was probably the most impactful influence in your life. With the Empress, you may be on the verge of creating something important on this planet, something that's meant to be born through you. This could, when I say meant to be born, it doesn't necessarily mean an actual child. It could be, I don't know. But I think you may have, before you were born, you may have made a contract with this soul to create something together. And then their purpose on this planet was fulfilled much sooner than yours was. And so they had to leave the planet, and that project that you were meant to work on together just went unfinished. However, I feel like this person is now coming back as a guide, as a spiritual entity, in order to guide you towards this creative process, this creative project that you were meant to do together. And so you might yet finish it, you might yet work on this creative project together. It's just that one of you is not necessarily in a physical form. But interesting, both earth signs, we have Virgo and we have Taurus, we have a Pentacles card here. So they may have been a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising. Sun, Moon, Rising, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. To clarify the Empress, we have death. What? These are all... Oh, wow. These are all major arcana. That's crazy. Sorry, I'm trying to gather my thought. I swear I've shuffled this deck a million times for all four of these to be major arcana and then have two aces. That's wild. Death under the Empress. I think... Sorry, I'm like at a loss for words right now. I do apologize if the angle keeps changing. By the way, I keep hyper-focusing on the... Anyway, so the Empress is being clarified by death. Death is about destruction, and the Empress is creation. I think together, you and the soul are meant to go through several cycles. This definitely feels like a soulmate type vibe. And, pop culture tends to define soulmate as your romantic partner for life or whatever. But I like to think of soulmates as a much broader category, which involves souls that you have incarnated with over and over again and worked through so many cycles over and over again. And for the creation and the destruction card to come together, along with two aces, which are new beginnings, it definitely tells me that you've been through a lot of cycles with this soul. So honestly, it doesn't even matter what your joint mission is, because if you don't if you don't decide on a joint mission, it doesn't even matter, because you are going to grow and evolve with this soul across time and space. And I think they're definitely here to definitely tell you that, look, I know we are not physically on the same plane right now. I know I am not in a 3-dimensional body for you to hug and, hang out with or whatever. It doesn't matter, because time is going to fly by, and soon we will be together again through, as macabre as this is, through the process of death. And death is not an ending, it is a transformation. It is the it's the metamorphosis thing, isn't it? A lot of the times butterflies are symbolic of death, where they go through a massive metamorphosis and they come out as just a completely different entity to what they went in as. And what they go through in that cocoon is the quintessential death. They are completely disintegrated and they become like a weird, like, gooey substance. Oh, I hate saying that. And then they transform into something so much more magnificent. And so I do think losing this person was quite traumatic. I think they may have passed in a very painful way. However, they are here to tell you that they're so much happier now. They're so much more powerful now, because they are living as a spirit where nothing can hurt them, right? And they are here to make sure that you understand the cycles of life and death, but also to encourage you to embark on this creative project. I feel like you may not remember what the project is, and so, like, open yourself up to the answer coming to you. Maybe, like, ask this person in your mind when you meditate. Ask them to remind you of what this project was that you were supposed to work on together. I do think it may have been a long time ago that you spoke about this and just fully forgot. And you are now in the right space to pick it up again. And this person wants you to pick it up again. Oh, that's lovely. All right, so let's take a look at some more cards which will tell us about how your lives were similar, and in so doing we can find out what cycles have repeated, what ancestral karmic cycles they've been through and they weren't able to necessarily break, that it now falls on you to break. So the first card is the King of Cups in reverse. Emotional immaturity, or a lack of emotional sovereignty. I think when this person was in your life, they're still in your life, but you know what I mean. They may have lacked the wisdom to pass down to you. I think this person did not necessarily have the right role models that would teach them how to be a parent, if they were a parent or a parental figure. And I think a lot of their maturing and growing up happened alongside you. However, they do regret that they weren't able to be more grown up for you. I think you may have had to fend for yourself quite a bit, at least emotionally. And for this card to come out when it comes to your emotional nurturer means that there was definitely quite a bit left. There was definitely quite a bit missing in how they nurtured you, or at least this is what they feel. They feel like they could have done better. And that's because no one taught them how to do better. To clarify, we have the 9 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, I think they wanted to give you the emotional fulfillment that they never had. But in doing so, in trying to give you everything, they didn't realize that step 1 was to fulfill themselves. You can't pour from an empty cup. And to have a lot of cups energy here, I think you do come from a lineage of very emotionally closed off people, at least on this person's side of the family. And while they did try to do a little better with you, they do still feel like they could have done so much more for you. So it does now fall to you to do your emotional healing. For the next generation, I'm hearing, you are to nurture the next generation into being emotionally safe, feeling like they have someone on their side, into feeling like they are always loved, they are always cared for, and into just feeling safe, really. You may have children, and this soul does wish they could meet them, of course. They could give them all the nurturing that they wanted to give you. However, they have to now live vicariously through you. They may never have met your children, and I think that's something that does hurt them a lot. However, they want you to do better with your children in terms of emotional nurturing than they did with you. Or, whoever you nurture. If you don't want to have children, if you don't have children, maybe your future children or just nieces, nephews, anyone that you nurture, they want you to do better moving forward than they were able to do with you. Next, we have the moon in reverse, Cancer energy. Yeah, there is... Okay, so the moon in reverse usually means clarity. It is usually a symbol of... Whoa, okay. That's a loud bike. Sorry. I'm just turning the light back. Okay, so the moon in reverse usually talks about having clarity where, you know exactly what's going on. So to have it here, I feel like this is more like my intuitive interpretation of the moon in reverse, because the moon upright talks about emotions. The moon is a symbol of, the tides and water and emotional aspects of human beings. So to have that in reverse does make me feel like this person was quite emotionally stunted. And I do think they regret not telling you enough how much they cared for you and how much they wanted to do right by you. I think you may have siblings where there's like a significant age gap between the oldest and the youngest. And I think the oldest got to have them for much longer and was likely the most traumatized by their loss. This could be you could be the oldest sibling here, but whoever it is, I think this soul does want to give them an apology as well, but that's not, if it's you, then welcome. But if it's not you, then maybe pass that message along if you feel comfortable. But to clarify the moon in reverse, we have the Six of Wands in reverse as well. Yeah, this definitely feels like a very fresh wound. It doesn't necessarily mean that this person has recently passed, but this wound still feels quite fresh in your mind. Sorry, I've just got like the sniffles. But with the Six of Wands in reverse, loss, I think, yeah, you were definitely quite close. And when they passed on, yeah, you felt a loss, but it's important to understand that they felt quite a loss as well. I don't want you to think this was just you losing them. They do feel like they lost you as well. They lost the ability to interact with you in the easiest way possible. That doesn't mean you can't still communicate with them. It's just not quite as simple as going to the other room or, picking up the phone and calling them. There is grief going both ways. And they especially feel like whoever this figure is had to be in charge in their stead, may have had to take on a very masculine role and had to like step in for them, and they do regret that a little bit. Okay. Strength in reverse. I think the big message here is definitely all about vulnerability. Whoever this person was to you, they never let you see the depths of their emotion, I think. I do think you've never seen them cry. Or if you have, it was like they brushed it off real quick. I don't think they ever let you see how deeply vulnerable they were. They may have been the kind to just like stay upbeat and happy, even if it was faking joy right up to the very end. And they want you to make sure that when you have children or whoever you raise or whoever you love, when you have someone you love, to make sure that you express your vulnerabilities just as much you express your strengths. Because you deserve to be held and you deserve to be loved. And the people around you deserve to see that aspect of you as well. Because emotional vulnerability is such a key part of emotional intimacy in our relationships, right? And so for you to hold that side of you back is essentially just you holding back half your love in some way. That's a strange way to put it. Okay, to clarify the strength in reverse, we have the World. Beautiful. This is all about completions. You may be a life path 9. Your birthday may be the 9th or something. But they want you to understand that the world is your oyster, and they hope that they've incorporated that into your psyche from a very young age, that you can do anything you want. You are capable of anything you like. This person may have been your champion in many ways. There may have been times where they went out and fought for you because you were their entire world. And I think if you do have children, this may be something they're encouraging you to do for your children as well, is to be their champion against the rest of the world. Because they want you to feel secure in knowing that you did your very best, the way they kind of feel like they didn't, almost. So there's a lot of messages about parenting in this reading. Do you have children, Pal One? Comment below and let me know to see if it resonates, because it's so interesting. But okay, let's take a look at what advice they have for you and what message they have. So I've gone ahead and shuffled some oracle cards. The first is a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. This may have to do with that creative project. I think whatever it was that you were planning to work on with them, it would have changed the face of this planet, I think. It would be something so innovative and so wonderful for everyone. Maybe you had an idea for charity of some sort, or just to make people's life so much easier. But yeah, I do feel like there was a creative project you were meant to work with this person on. And I think they're definitely encouraging you to get in touch with them and ask them to remind you what this project was, because it will change the planet. It will probably create a new earth. So, and then once you know what the project is, make sure that you hold that vision and you actually work towards it. And that would be the way to honor this person, even when they're gone. And we have dolphin spirit. This and that are true. I think it's all about this temperance card as well, about balance. Yes, you're grieving them, but yes, you can celebrate them. Yes, you've lost them in the physical realm, but yes, they are very much alive and willing and happy to guide you as a spirit guide. Dolphins might be an important symbol for you. When you see dolphins, it might be a sign that they're around you, that their spirit is around you. You may have been 20 something when you lost this person. It doesn't have to be, it's just something. But yeah, be open to a new creative project. Be open to vulnerability and sharing your vulnerability, and be open to emotionally nurturing your children or the next generation. And that would be how you honor this person. So that's your reading for today, pal number 1. I really hope it resonated and it brought you some love, support, and clarity. If this did resonate, please remember to like and comment below. Subscribe to my channel for more readings. Thank you so much to you and to this wonderful, wonderful ancestor for being here today and sharing your energies with me and allowing me to read for you. I'm so grateful you took the time out to spend with me today. Stick around to the outro for another reading on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Pal number 2, hello, welcome to your reading. So if you picked this beautiful jade crystal, then welcome. Today we're going to take a look at an ancestor who has a message for you. So I've gone ahead and pre-shuffled your cards. And the way I've done it is the first 2 cards will tell us who this ancestor is, what generation before you they are. Then we'll take a look at why they are here, what your joint mission with this ancestor is. Then we'll take a look at some similarities in your life, in your lives rather, which will kind of tell us about any karmic cycles, any ancestral patterns that they are hoping you can break because they weren't necessarily able to. And then finally, we'll take a look at some advice and just some messages from them with these oracle cards. Okay, so I'm going to tell you now, this one might be a little bit heavy, so brace. But who is this ancestor who wants to come in today? We have the King of Swords. Oh, definitely a patriarchal figure of some sort. Maybe someone who was very cutthroat, very intelligent, but very, very sharp. It almost feels like this person, when they were alive, you may have seen them as like the patriarch of your family. And when they were alive on this planet, they may have been quite an authoritarian figure. And this may have made you a little wary of them, a little scared. They may not have been the easiest to get close to or get to know. Oh, this, by the way, this is my microphone. Sorry about that. To clarify, we have the 5 of Cups in reverse. This person did not have time for emotions. They could be 5 generations above you. So that is parent, grandparent, great-grandparent, great-great-grandparent, great-great-great-grandparent. So I don't even know if you would know this person, but you may have heard stories about them. Or you may have only known them for about like the first 5 years of your life and then they were gone. Something like this. But they were not the kind to have any emotional vulnerability whatsoever. They were not the kind to stand for anything of that sort. They did not do feelings. They did not do emotions. Okay, that's better. That's a better angle. Sorry. They did not enjoy dwelling on the past at all. And while you may not know them personally, I think the stories that you hear about them from the people that you do know who knew them may tell you that this was quite a scary person, actually. Quite a not super lovable, warm, or anything like that. So that's interesting. Why are they here? Because I'm curious to know. There's definitely something very, very important that they have to tell you. So we have the Tower in reverse. There is an ending here that you are simply not acknowledging. There is something that you need to let go of, that you are refusing to let go of. And this soul, when they were here, they were so good at cutting people out and cutting out toxic situations that they kind of stepped up and volunteered to get you through this, I think. Because a tower upright, oh, there goes that honking. Yeah, that's confirmation. I don't know if the mic called that. But they were so adept at working through tough situations. The Tower upright talks about something that you've built falling over and breaking apart. But to have it in reverse is almost like a stubborn refusal to let the tower fall. It's like if you've watched Encanto, you know Luisa, her song where she like carries the entire world on her shoulder, or like the entire house, even though it's falling apart, she's like trying to hold it up. That's the kind of energy I'm getting from you right now, Pearl 2. And this person is here to talk you through this because this has to come down. This has to be let go of. To clarify the tower in reverse, we have the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, this is something that you invested in when you were very, very young, very naive, where you were so ready to just give your all to something that didn't even necessarily deserve your all. I think if this person was here today, they would definitely not have let you get into the situation, first of all. And, for whatever, I feel like it would come from a toxic place of wanting to control your choices. But as a spirit, as our higher selves, I believe that we are pretty much incapable of being toxic like that. Just because we have a much wider perspective, right? And I think this situation that you are in, that you deep down needs to be torn apart, be taken apart, but you are refusing to simply because you've been here so long. It's something that you got yourself into when you were very, very young and naive and vulnerable. So, for example, let's say you've been in a relationship for many, 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 many years. You met this person quite young and you know fully well that they are not good for you. It's just an example. It doesn't have to be your relationship, but if it resonates, apply it. It's just an example. But you know this person is not good for you. Maybe they are toxic. Maybe they say mean things. They do mean things to you. And you know that this is not sustainable, but because you've already spent this long with them and because you think, oh, it's going to be a mess if I try to start over right now, because of that, you're kind of avoiding allowing this to fall apart. It's out of like a sheer stubbornness or just fear of the unknown. And that's because you haven't, I think this relationship has not helped you grow or mature at all. Oh, well, in the example of it being a relationship, it could be a business, it could be whatever it is. They have kept you, whatever the situation is, it has kept you vulnerable and naive. And this ancestor wants to come in now to help you out of it, to help you wisen up and kick whatever this is to the curb, like they would do for literally everything. So the next card we have is the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, it's more of that investment, sowing the seed type energy. But I do think this spirit is here to help you invest in something a little more fruitful, most likely just yourself. I think this spirit wants you to focus on giving all that energy, all the effort that you are putting into holding up something that needs to fall apart. They are here to help you divert some of that and force it inwards. They're here to help you kind of refocus. Yeah, refocus. Invest in your growth. Invest in your peace. To clarify the Seven of Pentacles, we have the King of Pentacles. Yes. And we have two kings. This is big time masculine energy. I think, okay. I think you might be in your divine feminine vulnerable energy right now. And that doesn't mean you identify as a woman. You might do, you might not. But divine feminine is the more passive, calm, receptive energy. But a lot of the times when our divine feminine is wounded or is in its lower expression, we can feel lost, we can feel powerless, we can feel trapped, we can feel like it's our fault that things are not going the way we want them to. And this soul, this guide, this spirit, this ancestor is almost like a giant like syringe full of divine masculine that's coming into your life to like inject you with a sense of independence, of power, of control, of mental energy rather than emotional energy. They are here to insert like a barrage of logic into your mind that will help you finally see the truth of your situation and help you gather enough courage to leave. I think this person, when they were on this planet, they went on very frequent power trips. And so I think your higher self chose them for this phase of your life because they understand how to take back power. They may not have been the most pleasant person when they were on this planet, but their lesson of being self-governing is exactly what you need right now. And that is why this person is here. That is powerful. Wow. Okay, let's take a look at how your lives were similar, though. I feel like there'll be a lot here that's very contradictory, but I'm interested in finding out. So, our first card is the Two of Coins in reverse. Very imbalanced. Although I feel like, do you see the imagery here? Let me just flip this real quick. Do you see how this baby is like a baby on top and a bear on the bottom, and then this one is opposite, bear on top and baby below? And I think you and this soul are two sides of the very same coin. I think they were deeply imbalanced in their masculine power, and you might be deeply imbalanced in your feminine lack of. And that is a weird similarity you share with them, is you are both so imbalanced. And the fact that this person could potentially be 5 generations before you, and there is still this deep imbalance coming up, means that this was so deeply ingrained in your genetic line, in your ancestral line, that none of the people before you have been able to break through this. Not even this person has been able to achieve balance. So it falls to you. And, it's okay if you can't fully achieve it in this lifetime or you don't want to. That's fine. It passes on to the next generation. But since you're here, since you've chosen to be born into this bloodline, this is part of your responsibility now, is to achieve this balance. To clarify the Two of Coins in reverse. The Tower. I did not, okay. I had not seen these cards before. I just shuffled them all face down. And for the Tower to come up in 2 completely different decks. One is reversed, one is upright. Yeah. I think they went through a lot of endings as well. But I think the way you deal with endings is, again, I kind of feel two sides of the same coin, where they may be, well, they were most likely avoidant attached while you are anxious attached. So you find it so hard to let go and to work your way through an ending, whereas they would end things prematurely just so they don't have to deal with this. You are so eager to hold on to situations, and they were so eager to hold on to control. And therefore, you both had like very imbalanced energies, but in very opposite ways, which is so interesting. Okay, next we have the Ten of Cups in reverse. Yeah. There was no emotional fulfillment in their life, and I feel like you might be in a similar stage where you don't have emotional fulfillment. They may have, not had a steady partner or not had a steady marriage or whatever they did at the time. Or they may have had everything on paper, but there was no like emotional fulfillment there. And I think that is kind of a dynamic that you are echoing in your own life as well. What's interesting to me is all these like gray people. Like, I know they're supposed to represent mermaids and people from the sea, and like these are all the family, but to me it almost feels like all of these people who are gray are just fully void of emotion. And so even if they are in a seemingly happy relationship, it's like they're not even there. They're kind of just playing the part. And to have all of them be like that, it kind of makes me think of like a generational affectation of just no emotional warmth or emotional connections with the people that you marry or are with or surround yourself by. And that might be something that you find yourself feeling sometimes as well. And with the Eight of Cups in reverse, it's like there's no walking away from this. It's like they were so comfortable having everything on paper, they never even thought about exploring the depths of their feelings, of their truth. And I think you might be the same, actually. Even though you're coming in here as a very feminine energy, in the sense of very emotionally deep and all of that, it almost feels like a surface level of emotional depth. It feels like you associate being hurt, talking about your pain, as emotional vulnerability. Whereas true emotional vulnerability is accepting and then actively working through this pain. Whereas I feel like you might be so comfortable in your pain that you've started to identify with, that situation, and therefore you're not able to let it go because you don't know what happens if you are not this person. And I think they felt the same way, but in the opposite end of the spectrum, where it's like, if I allow myself to feel my emotions at all, what does that make me? I'd rather not. That is so interesting, Paltu. I did not expect to have this like two sides of the same coin type reading here. Fascinating. We have the Four of Coins. Inability to let go. Inability to let go and let God. I think this person might not have had any like faith or religion or whatever that they followed. They may have been very staunchly against any kind of theology. And And that's because they found it very, very hard to believe in something beyond just what they can do. They may have found it very hard to release control to the universe or to a higher power or to even like someone else, another human being. And I think that echoes in your life as well, where you almost fear the idea of serendipity, of things not going according to plan. And to clarify the Four of Coins, we have the Three of Cups in reverse. This may have caused both of you to isolate. I think you fear emotional vulnerability in the sense of, what if I let someone in and then they hurt me? Then what am I going to do? I won't be able to handle the emotional pain. Because of that kind of thinking, you've kind of kept yourself from having warmth and comfort around you. You've kept yourself from having this love around you. And I think this person shared the same fear. They just went about it a different way. Whereas you try to beg people to stay, this person tried to own people and force them to stay. But at the core of it, it is that same fear of loneliness. Interesting. Very interesting. I did not expect this to be like a same but different type resonance. But I do think this person is here to tell you to learn from their, I don't want to say mistakes, because it's actually that experience that's helping them to help you right now. It's like they were so power hungry and so obsessed with controlling people and controlling everyone's life. But that now, while at the time you would have seen that and been like, oh, that's very toxic. Now that is the exact skill that's helping you exert that power over yourself, over your own choices, over your own mind. That's wild. I did not. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to stop saying I did not expect that, because we know. Okay. But what's some messages and advice that they have for you? We have the Void. Sorry, my chair is so creaky today. Stop. Embrace winter. The great cosmic womb. Embrace winter, the great cosmic womb. It's all about the unknown, isn't it? I think their message to you is all about embracing the fact that you don't know it all and you never will. It's about embracing the idea that you take a leap and it might go wrong, but that's okay. It's about learning to live with the idea of letting go of control. You don't need to know how every single thing is going to pan out. In fact, it's better if you don't, because that way you get to enjoy your surprises. Embrace this period of ending an old cycle, and then there's like that void stage before a new one comes in. Embrace that in between, because you won't have it for very long. And finally, we have the dog spirit in reverse. Be loyal to what you love. I actually want to read this from the book, because the reversals tend to have some very interesting messages. So I didn't read this for Power 1, because it was pretty straightforward. But dog spirit, be loyal to what you love. Protection message. Loyalty to people and situations can turn into attachment that results in stagnation, enmeshment, and loss of integrity. Do you fear what will happen if you let a relationship evolve? Are you afraid that asking for a situation to change will make others see you as disloyal? Trust that when the dog spirit appears, you are meant to accept the turning of the wheel of life and the changing of fortunes. Your greatest loyalty is to love, so be open to all its many guises, including self-love. You deserve the best, and that is what spirit wants for you. Boom. So this spirit is here to help you really learn to love yourself, in a nutshell. But that is your message for you today, pile 2. I really hope it resonated and brought you some love, support, and clarity. If it did resonate, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more readings. Thank you so much, and thank you to your guide, your ancestor, so much for being here and sharing your wisdom and allowing me to share in your energy and read for you today. I really hope it resonated. Stick around to the outro for another reading on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Pile number 3. Hello, welcome to your reading about a message from an ancestor. So if you picked this citrine crystal, if we can focus, that would be wonderful. There we go. Then this is your reading. So I've gone ahead and pre-shuffled our cards. These first 2 cards are going to tell us about who this ancestor is, how many generations before you they come from. Then we'll take a look at why they are here, or what joint mission you may have with them in this period of your life. Then with these cards, we'll take a look at how your lives actually were similar to theirs, and in doing so, what ancestral cycles they are hoping you can break that they weren't necessarily able to. And then finally, we'll take a look at some messages or advice that they may have with these oracle cards. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be honest. The first two piles that I recorded were quite intense, so buckle up. So the first card we have is the Wheel of Fortune. This is a number 10, so they may have come 10 generations before you. But whoever this person was, or there may have been like a 10-year age gap between you and this person, but whoever this person was extremely vibrant and extremely lucky. They may have been the kind to like win a lottery, or they may have left you a massive fortune. In either case, I'm getting like you were extremely lucky to be born into this person's family. Wow. It's like you won like the genetic lottery. You won the genetic lottery thanks to this person. To clarify, we have the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, with the Pentacles being like the earth element in reverse. This could be a masculine, lots of masculine energy coming in, but it could also be like very feminine. But whatever it is, this person, I feel, they were quite lucky. They did not necessarily have to work very, very hard in order to achieve like a sizable fortune. I think if you look back in your family tree to where like the wealth comes from, that would be the person here. Oh, I immediately feel so vibrant and so like active and alive. I feel like this person, even though they didn't have to work, they did. They did a lot with their time. Oh yeah, they made a huge impact on this world. Even if you don't necessarily know about this right now, it might be worth exploring, because I think someone down your bloodline, or someone up your bloodline, I guess, whoever it was, this person made a huge difference to this planet. And, you know, it doesn't have to be something like super dramatic, like, oh, they invented fuel. But it could be something like they did a lot of charity. They taught the next president, something like this, you know, something where they weren't necessarily the face of everything, but their work did create a massive turning of the tides for this planet. So good. This person, this soul, I feel so good. This soul is so alive. That's so interesting. Okay, but why are they here? Whoever this is. I'm not getting a read on like what your relationship to them would have been. I don't think you knew this person, like in the physical. I think they were long gone before you were born. They were gone several generations before you were born, but I think their legacy has a huge impact on you. But why are they here right now? We have the Two of Swords. There is an important decision that you need to make. There's a choice you need to make. And your higher self has called on this person because clearly they made all the right ones. I think okay, so this is an odd message that I don't usually get with the Two of Swords, but do you see how she has her eyes closed? And that's because she's like making an intuitive decision. I actually think this soul is coming in to tell you to open your eyes and be a little more logical about this. This definitely feels like a divine masculine energy. And I think they are coming in to tell you, hey, like, I get it. You want to make an intuitive choice, but sometimes logic has a big hand to play as well. Yeah, I think they're coming in right now to encourage you to step into the world. To step into the world, you might be someone who like dissociates a lot, especially when it's time to make important decisions. And they want to encourage you to keep your eyes and ears open and look around you before you make this decision. To clarify, we have the Eight of Wands. I think if you do look around you, you'll find that it's actually quite easy to make this choice. The choice is quite obvious and you'll be able to make it really quickly. But I think you might be someone who tends to internalize a lot. And therefore, when it came time to make... Oh, my chair is like extra creaky today. I'm so sorry. I've said this in every pile. But you may be someone who goes inwards. You may be an introvert by nature. And that doesn't necessarily mean you shut yourself off from the world, but it means that you look inwards for guidance. Whereas this person, I think, was big time extrovert energy. They looked around them. They took their energy from the world. And I think they're coming in here to encourage you to try that instead of relying only on what you know. Because while our intuition is infinitely powerful and has an infinite amount of knowledge and wisdom, our understanding of this intuitive wisdom is quite limited by our experience. It's like trying to run like a cyberpunk type game on a Windows 98 PC. It's not that the game has an issue, it's that the computer is not able to process it. And so when we rely on our intuition to make all possible choices, there's only so much it can do for us unless we have the real world experience to put words to that intuitive message. Wow. That was powerful. Okay, so next we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. This might be a romantic decision, but it's almost kind of giving me like, it's not even serious like that. I don't think you're like seriously in a relationship and trying to decide between two people or anything. This feels like a very playful energy. I think if you knew this person IRL, you would be like, you know, that really fun grandparent and grandchild dynamic that you see in movies a lot, where it's like they're friends rather than grandparents and grandchild. It's like they have their little secrets and they have their little, you know, games that they like to play together when no one else knows what they're talking about. That's the kind of dynamic you would have if you were like physically on the plane together. But I think this person is like, none of them deserve you. None of them are good enough. You know, but in like a playful way. I think this person wants you to go out there and explore your options rather than thinking these are my only choices and I have to choose one out of these two. I think you may be looking to settle down with someone, and the world around the like immediate surroundings, your immediate surroundings might be quite limited, and then this person wants you to like go out and explore the world. Yeah, that's just an example. This doesn't have to be about a relationship, but with the cups, the Knight of Cups, this usually talks about someone coming in with a romantic offer, and I'm almost seeing this person like throwing that cup away, like, you can do better. The Knight of Cups in reverse. To clarify, we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. Yeah, this person, not passionate enough, not powerful enough. You are fire. You are, you're a diamond. You are a star, and you deserve someone who will match up to that energy. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting. This person is here to encourage you to demand more, to understand that you are worth more, and to therefore not settle for anything. This person is here to remind you that you come from a line of very powerful spirits, to the point where they are here now. Like, if they are able to communicate to you through me, a complete stranger, that's how powerful they are. And their sole purpose here in your life right now is to tell you, do not settle. Do not settle. They won't allow you to be hurt by anyone like that, unless it's like karmic or whatever. But they do still want you to approach this from a place of understanding your true worth rather than a place of lack. Oh, I love this person. Can I have them? Pile 3, if you're not gonna hang out with this person, can I have them? Because they're so cool. They're so cool. I love this person so much. I think you might not be the only soul that they're guiding. Like, they're not only a spirit guides for you. I think there might be multiple people in your family or in your bloodline, or, you know, whatever the situation is. Multiple people that they're a spirit guides for. And if you look at maybe like your cousins or your siblings or aunts, uncles, whatever, if you find the people who have like very high self-worth, very high self-esteem, that's this person's doing. That is this spirit guide's doing. And that's how you recognize their impact in their bloodline generations down the line. Oh, that is so wonderful. And you know what's interesting? I have had a headache this whole time, and now suddenly I feel so alive and so vibrant. This person's soul is so powerful, Pile 3. You are so lucky to have them. Okay, let's take a look at some similarities where your lives were kind of like cyclical, kind of you're repeating aspects of their life on this planet. and what ancestral cycles they need you to move on from or to heal. First, we have the Seven of Swords. Because this person was quite well-to-do or vibrant or powerful, they may have dealt with a lot of people who tried to take advantage of this. This may be why they are so adamant on you not settling, because they may have several times in their life settled for something that wasn't even the best for them, but they were like lured into it. And they kind of, sorry, there's like a bit of sage ash on this card. I just saged all of my decks before I started. Okay. I think they may have fallen trap in like situations where they kind of trusted people just because they'd known them for long, or just because the people were physically around them. And that may have led to some losses or some heartbreak, because people will sneak up on you when you're successful, you know. And that's why they are so incredibly adamant on everyone in their bloodline from them forwards understanding their worth, understanding that you never settle. You never settle for anything less than you deserve. To clarify the Seven of Swords, we have the Hermit in reverse. The Hermit is Virgo energy in reverse. This does not mean you have to isolate. This does not mean you have to stick to yourself, or just, your family, or just, the people who have proven that they only have your best at heart. No, this does not mean that you can't allow people into your life, but at the same time, you need to understand that the people who come into your life need to be an upgrade. You cannot be carrying dead weight. Your legacy is too powerful for you to be going around accepting anything less than the best. Okay. Next, we have the Two of Wands in reverse. Be present. Be here now. I think you might be someone who is in your mind a lot, in your head a lot. You might be someone who worries about the future, who ruminates over the past a lot. And they may have learned this lesson in, a very difficult way about being present right here, right now. Or your entire, several generations of ancestors may have struggled with being in the present moment. You may come from a long line of very anxious people, very stressed people, and you're being encouraged. This person may have had that issue as well, which would make sense. When you are very successful, there's a lot more depending on you. There's a lot more riding on every single decision you make. And so they may have grown to be very, very obsessed with how the future is going to turn out, how the past has affected them, or, I've peaked and now I can never make a mistake again or go below that level. That kind of fear. And they were not able to heal that, or this may have started with them because maybe they didn't have a template on how you can be successful and be at peace. And so they may have passed down some of that anxiety down the generations, and now they want to make it right. To clarify, we have the Ten of Swords in reverse. Interesting. Let me just look at the keywords. I'm being prompted to look at the keywords here. Oh. Ten of Swords in reverse. I really love this deck. Not just because it was my very first, but also because there's keywords. Surviving disaster, recovery, regeneration, the inevitable. Yeah, I think this person did go through some like some stuff, okay? However, the point they're trying to make here is they survived it. They lived a full happy life. And they are fine now. However, what they wish they had done more of was live in the present moment, because things happen. You know, we go through cycles of pain and healing and then more pain and more healing, blah, blah, blah. But if we obsess over these cycles, that's why this wheel, I think that might be why this wheel showed up. If we continue to obsess over this and not learn from it, we then risk passing down our worries to our children and their children and their children and over again, and no one heals. And we're stuck in this like infinity loop of anxiety and worry and stress. There may be a very, very, very solid fear of failure, like deeply ingrained into every single one of the people in your family. Fear of failure. But this person wants you to understand that that was never their intention. They may have been the person where the fear of failure came from, but they didn't want to be that person. I don't think they ever intended for their children and their children's children to ever feel inadequate. Quite the opposite. Oh, maybe this is why they are so passionate about this whole like know your worth type deal, because they might carry a little bit of weight, a little bit of guilt from unknowingly and accidentally almost passing on this fear of, I'm not good enough, I need to live up to this impossible standard. And finally, we have the Page of Cups in reverse. I think this person may have been quite emotionally immature when they achieved this success. And therefore they may have had like a bit of like an ego thing of, I deserve everything. I'm clearly meant to have these nice things. And they want to make sure that they don't pass that egomania down. Or if you have noticed signs of that within yourself, that you're working on healing that, because even that comes from a place of fear. A fear of like inferiority. It's like a superiority complex or whatever. With the Page of Cups in reverse, again, let's look at the keywords. I don't usually feel called to look at the keywords anymore, so this is interesting. Page of Cups in reverse: bad news, jealousy, obsession, childhood problems, immaturity. I think they may have dealt with a lot of jealousy, or alternately, they may have been told like, oh, you better be careful because everyone's going to be jealous of you now that you have all this. You know, their parents or elders or whoever might have told them, oh, you better not mingle with people, you better be by yourself, because otherwise everyone's going to be jealous of you and no one's really going to want to be your friend for real. They only want your money or whatever. And inadvertently they may have passed down this fear to their descendants. Or somewhere along the line, that fear may have like started to come up, and they want to be here and specifically tell you like, hey, that's not true. Yeah, some people may be jealous, but that's just human nature. Everyone wants success. Everyone wants what you have. And some people might try to take it, but that does not mean you isolate. That does not mean you refuse to make friends. You refuse to go out and you refuse to fall in love. And just because someone is not jealous of you does not mean that they are the one that you should give everything to. I think you're definitely being called to be reserved, but not closed off, if that makes sense. To clarify, we have the Seven of Cups. Illusion, yeah. There might be a lot of like, okay, two meanings. One, this illusion of like people being jealous of you or worrying that every single person out there is only going to want the worst for you because you come from privilege or, you know, whatever your situation is. Second is a lot of people might have a lot of illusions about you, and a lot of people might have had a lot of illusions about them as well. But I think they want you to understand that it's not your job to dispel these illusions. People might see that you come from a powerful legacy. People might see that you have so many options. People might see that you are lucky in so many ways. You have so many skills. You have so much abundance. You've inherited so much. And they may form an image of you in their minds. It is not your job to set those images right. I think this person may have spent a lot of time trying to make themselves likable so that people would stop creating all these projections of them and spreading misinformation or whatever. But they want you to understand that they wish, instead of doing all that, that they had simply just stayed true to themselves and stayed true to the present moment and focused on doing what they were meant to do. Which, I mean, I do think they achieved quite a lot of what they were meant to do, but they wish they could have just let the naysayers just rot. Oh, that was intense. Let the naysayers go by, let's say, okay? I don't think this person did anything halfway. I think they were intentional and intense. And that's how they want you to be as well. Oh, I love this person. Pile 3, whoever this is. Can I be part of your bloodline? Just so I can share in this person's energy, because this is wonderful. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at some advice that they have for you. So first we have deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. I think you might be being called to do a lot of like therapy, be it like physical therapy or emotional mental therapy, psychological therapy, I mean. Because I think you might feel quite isolated. I think that's been a big time message through this reading for you, is this fear of being all by yourself. Or this almost preference for being by yourself. And they're definitely encouraging you to seek help. And while, you know, going inwards is important, it is just as important to take care of your physical and psychological well-being. As much as you're taking care of your emotional and intuitive high priestessy energy, you do still need to take care of your empress energy. And we have the cow spirit. The miracles are endless. Aww. It's such a beautiful cow with a flower crown as well. I actually want to read the Arcturus card from the book, Deep Cellular Healing, because I do think there's a message there for you. Where are we? Deep. There we go. Your body knows how to heal. Healing is your natural state. Physical and emotional disharmony can be a reflection of how the world, inner and outer, has been out of alignment. If you're suffering from a mystery or chronic illness, don't allow yourself to think that you've done something wrong. You may be called to switch things up with your body or your emotional well-being, to call in a team of helpers to support you in navigating any challenges you may be experiencing emotionally. Place the card on the portal of your heart and whisper, I take back my vitality and energy and feel more and more healthy each and every day. My body knows how to heal. My body knows how to heal. So yeah, it might be worth getting like a health checkup, just by the by. But that's the message I have for you today, pal number 3. Thank you so, so much to you and this wonderful ancestor for being here. I have truly enjoyed this reading. I don't know about you, but in either case, I do hope this reading has brought you some clarity and support and love, and just vibrance in general, because wow. Okay. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your time with me. If this resonated, please remember to like, comment, subscribe to my channel for more readings, because it really helps the channel out a lot. Yeah, stick around to the outro just after this for another reading on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.